Okay, let's go. Lonray, thank you. Appreciate the follow. Let's get to sketching, right? What are we doing today? Plan a game day. Lonray, or Lanry, I don't know how you pronounce it, I apologize. I will check it out. I do play games. A lot of times though, I'm drawing and doing art stuff and commissions and other work and trying to create content. But yeah, thank you. We'll take a look at that for sure someday. But guys, hello. Thank you so much for all your support. It's much appreciated. Alright. Gabertzi. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing these right, so, bear with me. I apologize. But thank you. Thank you so much. I might switch up my pencils here. If I can find the one I want. That'll work. 2H will work. Not very thick lead on this. That's okay. Alright, so today we're going to draw a Arcanine on Tantone. In Tantone format. So I'm going to show you how that kind of goes down as best I can. So as we know, Arcanine has a head. We'll draw his head here, and then he's got a beak of sorts. And then we got his mane over here. So let's see, how should I do this? He's got his eyes here. Kind of making this probably harder than it has to be. And then we got his mane. His body. His mane comes out to here, so we're going to use that as a reference for his body. I know it looks messy, don't worry guys, it's gonna come out like something. We got a foot here, this foot way. You gotta get the starting lines down. This is the trick to doing any kind of art, is kind of getting your basic shapes down to kind of have a starting point. And then you'll be able to kind of just go for it. So, what am I drawing? An Arcanine. It's a Pokemon from the first gen. And hopefully it comes out pretty cool. It's been a long time since I've drawn one, but I kind of wanted to do one in a different style, so it's kind of what I decided to look at. And just getting some groundwork down. So anytime you do a drawing or a sketch, the part that gets everyone going is where do I start? And honestly, just start putting in shapes. You get some basic ideas and shading and where things might be placed. I got a couple different methods. I got one where I just sketch it out like this, and then I kind of create like a base shape And then I have one where I just keep messing around until I get some things that resemble what I want it to look like. So I can already tell I don't like some of my, oh my gosh, I'm dropping everything right now. I don't like where my head placement is at, so I'm gonna change it up just a little bit. We're gonna make it a little bit over here more. Kind of like that. So now that I have essentially some basic placement, the one thing I have to get a little bit better at is placement of feet. So the back leg is going to be at this slight angle going this way. So I'll make a line there. This isn't the best pencil for that. And then I will make a line here where my front leg needs to be. And then the other should be somewhere like this to kind of give it a plane and such. You can use anything for a straight edge on this. So we'll just make our shadow kind of go like so. And then this one will go like so. So essentially we're making stick figures, right? Doesn't look like much, but you could probably see some of it where we're gonna go with this. But yeah, it doesn't look like much. Now we can work on a few more finer details. So let's say you add too much graphite. Okay. We'll just roll some kneaded eraser on there. Lighten it up a tiny bit. We have our reference lines. Get out our pencil. And now we're just gonna go to town here on some of this. And creating a little bit more of our shape. We're gonna add some more reference lines. And I'm just starting with areas that I do know I can make look right, and I'm gonna use those as references, essentially. Drawing doesn't have to be a quick process, so don't feel stressed. And then he's got his like here, and since he's not really a stout, long body, his leg's gonna start here and come down, essentially like this here. And then we have his paw. His paw kind of needs to do this U, this rounded shape. And I feel like it's already too wide, but we'll see where he's got to kind of go with it until we get there. And then we'll add some details that give him his size. And I think the head needs to go up here just a tiny bit. Is probably what needs to happen. So we'll just move that up just slightly. Thanks guys for joining. Let's see what else we got here. So essentially you can see where it's starting to form. His other eye in here. Let's see. His other eye's gonna go more like this. And this one comes down like so. Now I'm just creating more and more kind of reference lines for, man, I can't get my throat clear today. Just trying to create more and more reference lines until I get to an idea of what I really like. Then I'll go in and outline this. Thank you guys so much for the likes. I appreciate it. Very kind of you. So let's see. We're gonna add. I really think my hair is not, the fur, the top part is not coming together like I want it to. So let's see. I also want this eye to be very prominent, but his ear is going to be up here somewhere. Let's just experiment with that. Not sure if that's the size I like for it, but we'll see. Sorry guys, I'm changing up the song. It's not my favorite. Lady Goo, hello. So, now the other reason why this looks a little funny is he's got this color down here that kind of like adds to his eye a little bit. I feel like my nose is really bulky right now, but we'll see. Maybe I just need to round that off a little bit, and it starts to look a little bit more like an Arcanine. Throw out his cheek fur. I am using a 2H pencil, so it does go on lighter. That's kind of the idea, is you start out light and kind of grow it on there, because if you go too heavy, then what ends up happening is you, I mean, his mane's kind of like this, so let's see here if I can follow a line. Let's get that the right look. But if you go too heavy, what ends up happening is you get these other lines and marks, and it's really hard to kind of fix up. So, I'll put this here. I still think my head position is probably not where I need it. So I'm gonna, because this whole face really needs to be up higher. But you see, if I push too hard, I wouldn't be able to do this. And it's kind of hard to get up some of the lines already. So, if I wouldn't be able to do that and make it look like it was a one-time drawing, it would look like multiple things. So that's the importance of that. You copy off tutorials on YouTube. Awesome. What about TikTok? Yeah, there's tons of tutorials on YouTube. I'm trying to make some. Content creation is not my forte, and kind of struggle from time to time, but yeah. So, I'm trying to get there, but we need this prominent He needs to have his head up. So let's see if we can put his head up here. I'm actually going to switch to a slightly different pencil here. Nope, that's even harder. 4H. Because I'm essentially pushing very light. So I'm going to switch it up just a little bit. Just make it a little easier for myself to see. But let's see here. So we got this giant mane. I mean, essentially you could start everything around this mane here. That goes like this. And then up for the hair. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm just messing with myself. So it's okay to keep going, keep erasing. It's all part of the process. Especially when you're doing cartoons. I find realism a tiny bit easier in some regards. A real life subject versus cartooning. I'm not a cartoonist. So, just in case anyone was wondering. But we gotta get his head right, or this isn't gonna come together at all. So where would his ear be? His ear would be here. Another ear. And then his eye would be, got one eye here. And we got the other eye. I know it always looks goofy, and sometimes you just have to kind of see it to know what you're doing. But you know, if you're just beginning and you don't like doing all this erasing, like you're kind of focusing more on the coloring focus of your drawing, go ahead and trace it. You know, go ahead and get a light board and get some of the basic shapes in there. You're not going to get everything exact, but then helps you with the process and experiment. I, of course, am not doing that for this tutorial, or this video, or whatever you want to call it. This is more of a kind of day in the life kind of drawing. I'm just sketching for fun. I work on one piece for so long, I just want to kind of feel the excitement of experimenting. It's a look inside my sketchbook. It's the way I kind of like to see it. So, and then if you ever get wigged out by the blank eyes, add eyes. Go ahead and add an eye. Like something to give you a little reference. I find it a little bit more easier to do that with. And you know what? I'm still not liking this. It's gonna be a day of erase like faces, but it's a focal point. You have to get the focal points right, or it's not gonna work. So the face has to be right, or it's just not gonna work. So let's see. We got his mane. So we'll draw that. And then his head has about from here to there. It's worth eyeball. So that's what we'll do. I'm just measuring out kind of what. You know, sometimes having a good starting point too helps. I, of course, did not quite do that. I will sometimes take mine to a light board also and just kind of do a starting point. And, like, basically for me, I'm getting basic shapes for the size, and then I go from there. Anything that kind of helps you get the starting point done, it just saves a ton of time versus erasing and frustration and all that nonsense. But again, like, if you don't mind erasing a lot, just erase. So it's okay. But getting things kind of in the right size format is pretty helpful. To get it to look right. I find I tend to over-exaggerate some of my lines, so I try hard to just, you know, have a reference point. But don't exaggerate too much. But eventually we're going to get there. It's not going to look as cheesy. It just looks that way now because I got to figure out some more things to my layout. I don't know. Like, my reference is the card. It's a basic shape. It's not an action pose. It's not. So I'm just trying to do a likeness of this Arcanine. And I know if I, you know, at least trace the face portion, I could get the rest. I don't want to do that, though. My intention in practice is to see how good I can do figuring it out. That's kind of the idea. I want to figure this out. I want to get better at drawing cartoons on the fly, and eventually I want to be quick. I want to be a lot quicker than what I'm doing right now with this. So right now I feel like I can't get the eye to look right at all, which is okay. I'll get there. Again, the whole idea is you just gotta get some shapes down until you figure out what works and what doesn't. You can do a lot of erasing. That's okay. I'm not trying to copy, I'm trying to design a likeness. Thank you so much for the likes, I appreciate that. And we're gonna bring this mane up a little bit here because it kind of does a pointed thing about that according to my image. In the center here of the eye, so it pretty much lines up the eye. Again, I don't think I have the eyes quite on point here. This eye. Maybe I do. Just draw the ear in. See how that goes. So from the tip here is the tip of the ear. So maybe I still have the eyes too big. Ah! You know, the problem with working on a slanted surface is you drop your stuff a lot. How long have I been drawing? Apparently not long enough to do this very quickly and accurately the first time. Honestly, I've been drawing, let's see, well, a long, not sure what sharpener is going to work best. A long time. I've been drawing a long time. I don't do a lot of cartoons as much. I do a lot more expression lines, and trying to get things perfectly accurate is really difficult. So some things I do really well, with a lot of references and stuff. And I think some things are just easier to get started, but I have been drawing since I was little, and it's just always something I keep trying to carry on. Now, as a more full-time thing, I've been drawing full-time in the last, I don't know, few months, but I've been working on like one piece. I work on like commissions and other things, so I always got a project, and then I'm in between projects at the moment, which is nice. Taking a break. Just got done drawing that Dharma cube for 80 hours and then other things, so now I'm just enjoying the art again of drawing, and trying to get back into kind of the enjoyment of it. Let's see here, I might have lost my measurement after a tiny bit. I know these ears look funky right now, so do the eyes. Eyes look funky too. We'll get there. Make it look right at some point. Did I lose my other pencil? Oh no, it's right here. Yeah, I'm just not happy with the eye placement. And there's always tricks to it. But sometimes you just gotta keep stepping back, keep trying till and moving things over. And eventually you will get the look you are going for. So, as long as it gets to a point where it's close, I'll be good. Really, you know, you're trying to translate size and things gets hard. I usually use a gridded process where it gives me a little bit more control. So as you can see, I'm just kind of moving some lines around. Travis, thank you. I mean, it's getting there. It's not, I don't know if it's beautiful yet, but it is gonna get there. It's just a matter of figuring this out. But some of these things are just not as easy as I feel like it used to be when I was. I don't know if my stuff was just off or what, but I feel like I'm just struggling today. I mean, I'm also forcing myself to draw when I don't want to. That's also part of the practice. So that's kind of where I'm at today. I don't want to draw, but I don't want to be absent, so I'm trying to get used to that. I speak to other artists and stuff, and we all talk about how that's kind of our biggest struggle, is drawing when we don't want to. So, I'm gonna put this it's here. I think his mouth is just too... Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong. It's too long. See what happens when I shorten it just a tiny bit. But... And then, this guy's neck here. There's drawings kind of here. Alright, let's focus on his mane just a little bit. Maybe that'll sort of help with seeing it a tiny bit. Yeah, when you see those people that draw really fast and everything's very accurate, they probably draw the same thing like 15 times a day. Or they use a reference photo and then they kind of make their lines over it. If you ever look at like animators and stuff like that, it's sort of like that. They're maybe not copying exactly what's on the page, but they use it to get the reference shapes and everything accurate. And yeah. There we go. We're starting to see the mane come in here a little bit better. As you can see, the shape is finally coming in. It's kind of like a lion mixed with a dog, is what I feel like an Arcanine is. And I've always really enjoyed this particular Pokemon, so, you know, just thought it'd be fun to kind of draw. So I was kind of thinking about how to teach certain elements, like how do you get certain line work and certain shapes. Some of it you go really fast, and I was thinking about the speed, right? To get like a loop curve going a little bit slower when you get up to the top and then faster when you come down to get a straight line. I was just thinking about some of that, like how to sort of teach that, because that's part of the trick to, you know, drawing these. But now his back needs to arch more. Maybe that's kind of where I'm at. I still feel like his head is not quite right. Like, I still feel like this is too far to the left and I need to go back right a little bit so he looks like his chest is out. So I'm going to change that up one more time. Where's my other eraser? That's probably going to be easier for me. And we'll just bring his eyes back a little bit. So his ear should be almost here. Oh, this is a much bolder lead here. Maybe it's like 2B or something. He's got a bit of a bridge. And I'm just kind of identifying shapes in my reference to try to get this to sort of match a little bit more here. best I can. And we're just using some basic block shapes here to kind of achieve some of this. You just don't want to feel discouraged because it will come together eventually. But yeah, I haven't sketched in a while too much. Like I always sketch and draw like daily. There's never a day I probably don't. But it's just trying to create something new that looks intentional that gets to be kind of hard sometimes. And getting the size and proportions of things is sometimes kind of difficult. Especially when you're doing something new. But let's see if that kind of works. Still looks funny, doesn't it? I feel like it does. I think I need to make this part less bold. I think that's part of my issue of making it why it doesn't look quite fitting. Like it's too prominent, too long, perhaps. Yeah. And there's like a fundamentals to all this. I just, you know, trying to have fun. Again, I don't want to draw today, really. But it's where I'm at. And then I might have to just make his body a little bigger. That might help too, a tiny bit. So let's work on his mane here, and it kind of goes in this outward shape, and then it V's down, and then maybe I can get this to proportion out a little better. I'm probably trying to fit too much in a tight space. That's what she said. So let's see here, and then there is the ear over here, which I gotta do. Now when I go in and edit this, it's gonna look, you know, like I did first time. Just FYI, because I'm not gonna put in a edited video that it looks like I spent forever on it in one area. That's just a lot of wasted time in a video, I feel like. So I'm gonna piece it together like a tutorial though, and I'm not gonna be deceptive. I'll probably show a little bit of the process and everything, because that's kind of what everyone looks for, I feel like. Insane. Alright, so maybe I'm getting closer. It's hard to say. Sometimes if you make a ton of little lines, you can kind of see what you're going to be developing. So it's a method of like kind of sketchy drawing with a ton of little lines. It's just scribbling almost is what it feels like. So you do this and you keep going until you get the desired results. And it's one method that kind of at times works. And then we got his back going up a little too quickly here. So, need to erase some of that. What that tells me is I need to bring areas of his mane here down. So we're going to do this. Now my eraser keeps rotating back in every time I push down on it. So, similar to that. And then he has this jaw mane over here. Yeah, so we're going for a likeness. And then, don't worry, when this all comes together, you'll see what's happening. We're going to add his toes in this on that side here. So we have this line going this way, and we have this. So you're creating kind of like a 3D box, essentially, for your shapes. And that's another method that kind of helps too, tiny bit. Kind of creating your little 3D box of line work here. So that helps anybody. And then I'm going to round this off just a little bit more so that we have a better look there. And then maybe you can see it just a tiny bit better, how that's coming together. So it's coming together. Then we need to add in his stripes. I'm gonna make this like just a little bit more prominent. Then we'll come into his toes. And then that's another toe. That's big toe. This way, like so. And then on this side, kind of have a similar thing, but his leg kind of does this, where it angles a little bit. I don't know about you guys, but weird songs weird me out. Alright, so this one needs to do this. So I get the kind of angle right for it. And then go straight up here. And then from there, you're going to keep adjusting things to fit the fundamentals, essentially, right? So I'm doing a likeness. It's not going to be exact. My angle could be slightly different, the way I position my character, and stuff like that. So if you're using any kind of reference, that's why a lot of things don't match up, and that's okay. So we're going to change it up just slightly to fit our look and all that. And then we have a little bit of this down here. It's a bulky Pokemon. Like, he's got a bulky body. So it's not as basic. But that's kind of the starting point. So we could do an outline on this, or we could not do an outline. It doesn't really matter. I think I'm going to do an outline on it. I think that'll look really good to do some sort of outline. So I have another pencil I like to use. It's a Roto Ring Rapid Pro that I like to use for my outlines. And this is where we're going to create very intentional outlines for everything, so we got to be a little bit more precise. Mistake. I'm just kind of going and lighten up the area, but we still have our outline area that we're using. I'm still not pressing as hard as I possibly can or anything. I am just adding, I just keep going at the same spot, essentially, until I get the depth of the line that I am looking for. So we have that. I don't know if I like those. It's like too pointed upwards, too stiff. Let's change that up a little bit. We're gonna go outward with it just a little. So one thing you have to realize, not every drawing an artist does is going to have everything's perfect the first time around. It's just not possible. Especially when you're experimenting with something new. I don't do a lot of cartoon fur, and I don't do a lot of fire cartoons, so I'm really outside my comfort zone when it comes to developing some of this. But you gotta keep trying until you get something that works. But intent is gonna make it look a lot better than no intention. So whatever you do, do it with intent. If you intend to put a line there, intend to put that line there. Don't guess, you know. If you don't like it, do it over. That's the whole idea, so you have intent for your line work. And as you can see, kind of where some of my lines keep changing and whatnot. See if I can do that to kind of give me a little bit of a reference here. Some of this is not quite going the way I planned. That's okay. Just gonna keep working it. Having a really good solid outline is a key to everything. Let's see here. This one. I don't know. Like you get one area and you're like, yes, that. And then you do the next one, you're like, I don't know if I like that. That's all that happens. So let's see here. Sorry guys, I know I'm not looking at my comments at the moment. I will here in just a second. Just really focused on this and trying to get the shape right, and I'm really struggling with this spot here. So I want this to be a slightly more rounded. So it looks right to me. And that's probably a lot better. The front is a little bit thick. I feel like some of this will come together with shading too, so maybe I won't touch that just yet. But you just keep going. You just keep experimenting. Thank you guys so much for liking the channel. I really appreciate that. It's the best way to support me right now. It's the best way to support me as... Sorry, I got up for a second. I apologize. It's the best way to support me right now as I am attempting to kind of grow my channel and everything. All my resources and work and whatnot. So... that's what we're looking at. So let's see here. I think I finally got those eyes down a little bit better to what I like. It's a lot closer anyways. Alright, so now let's add some of the shading and details and everything, and we'll kind of go from there. As far as this area goes, we have, I guess I could touch on this a little bit. Alright, and then we'll shade a lot of that stuff. see it, just kind of get rid of some of it. Let's add in a little bit. Vintage, hello. So let's see here. Alright, so let's add in, I guess I'll do a little bit of the tail. I haven't done that yet. How this part went. I want to look more kind of like fire, I guess. That fluffiness. There we go. It's kind of like that. Now we gotta do some shading. Now, I'm gonna do something a little different. Let's see how this goes, but what I wanted to do was start with some shading and erase. So, I'm just gonna give myself a light base here to start with. All across the whole thing. And then we're going to expose the highlights with an eraser. This is something I haven't done in a while. The other method is to go in with and do the highlights in white, which I am going to do highlights in white, but I wanted to do the eraser part first and see how that goes. Sorry for the movement. I am clearing out my eraser here of previous graphite so that it doesn't quite smear onto my stuff. All too much. If you see my light flickering at all, I need a new one. So let's build this channel so I can get a better light. That's the main reason. I need a better light. Okay. So we're going to do the highlights. The light is coming from here and the horizon. Which we don't have a horizon right now. Just imagine there's one. It's going this way. Something like that. This eraser makes a lot lot of dust. This actually isn't probably my best eraser. It's probably old. Let's see. I have a plastic eraser. Let's see if that works. Wait, is this one okay? Yeah. Let's see if this works any better. Oh, way better. Okay, here we go. And what this is going to do is help me kind of identify some areas of, you know, light and dark, I guess. You'll see. So the fun thing about experimenting, I think my one method is I'm gonna just kind of shade in shadows. Because yeah. I think that's gonna work a little better in creating the illusion. For some reason, graphite just really wants to collect in this and comes out gray, and I need it to come out white. And live and learn, live and learn. But if you end up with too much in one area, the right eraser will pull up colored pencil. What does that? Kneaded eraser. Yeah. Kneaded eraser pulls up colored pencil pretty decently. So that gives you that nice kind of clear area to work with. I'm not entirely sure how this is going to turn out, to be completely honest with you. But we're going to try. I mean, maybe it comes out messier than I intended. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But we're going to try. The other thing I could do is go in with like a white pen and do the highlights too. I just don't like how it comes out all the time, so it's kind of an iffy concept, but like I can. So we're just going to start putting the highlights where we see them, where we know they need to go, and then we'll go from there. You just got to trust the process. Because it does all come together eventually. Guys, thanks for the support. Really appreciate it. I hope you like kind of where it's going, or getting some kind of basic information, understanding of art. If you got questions, please ask. I said I was going to look at the comics. Thank you so much for the rose. Cosmic Bones, really appreciated. Thank you so much. Let's check the comments, see if there's any questions. None at the moment. Okay, awesome. Echo the Bat. Thank you. I mean, hopefully it'll look awesome when it's all done. But yeah, this is just an insight into my sketchbook. Some of the ones I do are way better. Some are a lot easier to draw too. This has a lot of components. I'm just trying to do something different every time I draw. Of course, we can always stay in our comfort zone, but I'm trying to change it up a little bit when it comes to the fun things to draw. So, just kind of see where it takes us. But let's get this shaded in then. So it is darker over here. I have to reposition myself so I can see what I'm doing. Don't ask me how those same songs keep getting added to there. I have no idea. So I'm noticing on the screen here, it might be a little, let's see if I can't up the contrast just a tiny bit. And if that'll help you see just a little bit. Upper? Lower? Doesn't really do much, does it? Huh. Maybe this one will do it. Color contrast. There we go. Tiny bit. Might help a little bit better kind of see what I'm doing. Just knowing it looks a little washed out. And this is going to have a slightly different tone here. So all we do is go in and sort of switch this out. Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense where I'm going with this. Can I show off some other ones I've done? Of course I can. Alright, so I'm using Neat Eraser if my pages stick together, that's why. So as part of some of my sketch endeavors, this is what I've done. This is from Return of the Jedi. It's just a frame from the movie where there's Wicket with his cookie. I got some ones I've done well and some I haven't, so just keep that in mind. Division and ballpoint pen, and there's one I didn't do as well, and I think what I ended up doing was not realizing it because I draw during meetings. Let's see if I can do this. I did it at an angle, and I didn't realize I had not had it flat. So, and I didn't like the white highlights I did. I should have just left it like that, where I actually colored the background so it's slightly off so that the highlights looked more like highlights. I should have just done that method for both, but there's one I started that obviously never finished. A Snorlax that I never finished. I do a lot of these during like times on board, meetings. This one I did while I was a cashier for a short while at a small pharmacy, and there was dead time once in a while, and there was a model home thing, so I was like, I'll sketch that. And I kind of just have fun creating worlds in some of my drawings. This is from a poster that it's another artist. You can look him up. He does these mashups, so I kind of liked this idea and wanted to color it essentially. So I made my own. I missed that I didn't make this part of the cape quite wide enough so it looks like he's got a stick neck. So I just need to eventually update that. It's not a lot that needs to be done. It's like the smallest little angle. Like I could probably even do it right now. I just needs that essentially. And then I have a purple, kind of blend that in a little bit. And then just a tiny speck of black to tone that down. But essentially, all you gotta do. So, let's see, I did another poster based on some other ones that I found. Kind of mashed them together on this one. It's just fun for me, like that's all it is. I did learn how to get this impression. From doing this experiment, I learned how to make it look pressed against the ice or flattened or smushed. I learned a little bit about shading because I thought it was so weird in that regard to make it look pressed against. So that was kind of fun. And that was just a messier one. We got King Kong, Kong versus Godzilla. And this was another, I think, an actual Japanese poster I kind of took this from. I really enjoyed this part. This part looked really cool. It looks way better in person, but essentially that was experimental to try to get that. But I mostly had fun with this part. And I just thought it looked really neat. This is a random guitar thing that I was going to add more fire to. Never did. So this one I've done more recently. We got Bulbasaur. It's a fire type. Bulbasaur. This isn't as white as it looks on camera. So I'm not sure why it's showing up so white on there. But, and then we got Raichu. Did this not too long ago. Had a little fun experimenting with the whiteout. to get that. Some of these can be a little messier. It's fun and experimental. This is a Ditto I'm currently working on. I've got most of the bottom done. I got to fill in this area, tiny bit of color, and then up here just a little bit. It has to be finished, but essentially the idea is that this is getting reflection from the paper, the lighting, and everything. It's supposed to look a little bit more 3D, so I'm just experimenting with that. Someone had requested I draw Dogman, so we drew Dogman. Here's a Gengar I started. And I feel like my Gengar looks like an Electrode merged in with a Gengar. Which might be an interesting concept, but I'll explore later. This is a Dedenne evolved. It looks a little bit more like Pikachu because I don't quite have enough orange type colors to really pull it off, but I like the fact that it looks yellow with a little bit of blue. Dedenne is kind of related to Pikachu and in that class with blue electricity, so I thought, I like the vibrancy of it. I'll go with that. And then we're working on Arcanine. Let's see what else I got in here. Here's a page of just really random shit. Really random. No idea what I was drawing. So random. Another random one. This was prompted by one of my kids that I work with, and they were like, draw this, draw that, and I have no idea what I was going with. And they're like, make this bigger, make that smaller, so I was just going with what they had. And we got a horse study, which I'm working on a little bit more. My next commission is a horse. I must have been looking at a typewriter or something. I'm not sure what that was. I'm not sure why that. I think it was one of those old-fashioned typewriters, and then there's supposed to be little mechanics and whatnot. I don't know. There was one time I had a Wendy's cup in front of me, which I don't know what I was going for here, to be honest. I don't know why. I don't know. I was just bored one day. Something like that. Here's a goofy one. This is from another artist, I'm sure. I don't know who, but it's based off the Kingdom Hearts Goofy. So I think I tilted his head back just slightly too far. Again, this is where like all the other fundamentals kind of come into play. These were years ago. I did this back in 2021. So I've come a ways. Here's a Bulbasaur I did. Some of these were better than others, easier than others. Let's see. And we got Wicket. I think we're caught up now on the ones I have in here. So, but you can see compared to my Bulbasaur in 21, as you see here, to where I've come in my drawings here to today. It's changed like quite drastically in how I color and how I sketch. So yeah, it's come along quite a ways. Thanks for asking. I really appreciate that. It's very nice of you. I'm always, glad there's some of the interest in other work and everything too. So move that back into frame as best I can. Okay. Let's continue filling this in. So he has this Let's add a little bit. He's got this here. So it's just a matter of playing around with it at this point until you get the desired depth and look that you want. As I look at more, I kind of want to do just some things here. Kind of bring this out. Mess with that. Yeah, I'm not sure how much I'm gonna like this one, but we'll see. I think might have done too much. Maybe we'll draw it again. But we'll see. Let's add a little. Where am I way? I don't think I'm gonna get that the way I want to, but we'll see. It's not working, it's just I don't know how I feel. I mean, for me, it's just looking a lot messier than I intended. I don't know. What I could do differently, so I'll have to figure that out. But part of me feels like maybe I need to add a little bit to the I need to add add a little bit more contrast to it in some regards. So we'll see. Ah, weird songs, man. Giving me odd vibes. Next. Okay. Yeah, weird vibes. I feel like I might have added too much shadow right here. So we're just going to pull up some. Yeah, I think my other method, I feel like, might even be a little better in some regards. But I don't think I'll use white pencil next time when starting this. Just realized I grabbed the wrong one. It's okay, it's a learning experience, right? Yeah, I don't feel like I should be having as much trouble in some of these areas. I agree. Guys, I just want to thank you so much for your support on this. So I mean, it's coming along a little bit, right? She's not quite where I thought it would. It's okay. We're gonna get there. Okay. Now we need to add his stripes in there. I'm just doing this kind of more willy-nilly here, because I mean that's kind of how the stripes are. I don't think they're very precise. Stripes in there. Let's see. I feel like he'd have a few more stripes in there, based on what I'm looking at here. I just do it kind of wild. And then, you know, you take a step back and you kind of see what else you might need to do a little more to add the right contrast and tones in places. To get it to quite look right as best you can. I mean, that's the goal anyway. We want it to look a certain way. Add some fundamental shadows. I'm also going from color to black and gray here, so I'm trying to translate this as best I can. So yeah, hopefully you can see kind of where it's going. I might have to redo this drawing again, and we'll see what it turns into, but it's at our kind of horizon here. Alright, so for this area, I'm just going to add a little bit of trees and foliage. And then it's very simple. Very simple backgrounds, really. Some different foliage in there. Being random there is kind of the key. And then our mountain. Okay, so that's that. I'm gonna add a little more shadow in this. And then I'll add a little more on the foliage. Key of foliage is just be random. Little circles sometimes help. And then it just needs to be contrasty with the background. A little bit. No line work. Something like that. Alright, let's do some clouds. I haven't done clouds in a while. So, clouds always kind of keep a loose idea of what you got going on here. It's okay to touch back over what you've already done. But the main key is to go side to side as you do it. We'll see how I like this. I'm not sure I'm liking how it's coming along already. Yeah, see, you kind of what you do is you add a little bit down, and then you're going to go in and make harder, more highlighted areas to kind of give you the difference in definition of the clouds. But I'm not sure how it's showing up on camera. In comparison, it looks really blown out and white. So I might try to adjust that as well again, so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Because it is very blown out compared to what I'm seeing. That helps a little. Okay, anyways. We'll just kind of keep it there for now. wherever the light is, you're going to do the outside. The hardest and brightest. The outside here. And that's pretty much how you do a cloud. Draw some lines going down this way. Maybe we have an cumulus cloud. And we'll add a tiny bit of shading in the darkest portion. Soft edges as best you can. And then we're going to bring this a little darker up here. Yeah, I really enjoy doing cloud work because you're kind of experimenting. It's very simple. I don't know. I really thoroughly enjoy it. So. And this is sketching. If you need to do a perfect cloud, you want to do it very slow and then build up, obviously. But I am doing this for experimental fun. How long does it take me to do a typical, like, beginning stage of a sketch? Depends on what it is, but sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes it can be up to a couple days. Just depending on what I'm doing and how perfect it needs to be. I tend to use a grid system often when I, do more drawing stuff, but lately I use all tools and methods available. So projector, light board, and I just kind of get the shapes. You still need all the skills and technique for everything else. So it's not cheating, it's just using what you have. Especially if you're creating something that has to be exact. If you're going for likeness, yeah, that would be cheating. Like if you're just using it as a reference. I try not to directly copy either. Just want to make sure that's out there. Unless it's something I need to do, that needs to be exact, and that's what the client wants and whatnot. It just depends. Like if I'm doing a mural or anything that has to go inside of a building, or which I haven't really done much of, but if it were to be anything like that, anything that becomes like just a different medium, it's becoming something else, I will make sure it's exact if it needs to be. And then I'm just translating colors, or I'm changing up the shading and tone. It just depends. So as you can see, there's nothing too special about my clouds here. But we're getting clouds. I want to add another cloud. Where did I put my pencil just now? I'm going to put another one over here somewhere. Just a little thin cloud. Just a thin little cloud. So yeah. I'm just experimenting, having fun here. Let's bring out these mountains in contrast here in the foreground. Let's make the light come from the bottom here. Kind of add some shapes in here for our cloud outline you'll see. So it'll kind of go like this. If I put more time in this, I can make it look a lot better. I'm just going for an abstract background for now. Let's do the other side. And I'm pressing aggressively hard to get that white in there. Which is okay. Trying to get my clouds to look like clouds, and I'm failing. I'm not a genius with clouds. I'm gonna have to do a cloud study, just clouds, because I'm not happy with my clouds. But you can see where I'm going with this. So this side is not preferred. I like that side. That side I didn't quite nail. Maybe you're sitting there going, I see it, just do this. And I'm just stupid, so. Figure it out later. Then we'll bring out our mountains. Let's see. We got the tops of our bushes, which is looking more gray than I want to. And this is where that white pen might come in. White ink pen. I'm like running out of white pencil, man. Yeah, etching it in, just, you know, taking your time to etch in more helps. There's always that. And this mountain gets all this. It's not snow, it's just lighting, okay? Big difference. And I probably should have left a little more like on the other side. I could get this foliage in here like that. A little bit more outlined. So, and then we'll do a little bit of foreground. Like so. Add some grass in here. Like so. And the whole key to being random here is to like be random. Be aggressive, be expression. You know, to be too perfect, it doesn't come out quite the way you want it to. And then you're going to go in and build off some of your existing ones to give it that kind of random look. Some in the distance here. Okay, then we go in with our regular pencil. We're going to add some more fine details. So we're going to add, what I'm going to do, I'll show you. I'm going to do this patch right here. Make it a little bit more oval. And we're gonna add a bit of foliage, some lavender, just like so. Some lavender leaves, or I don't know what you call those, seed buds, something like that. And then we'll flick. And then all I'm doing here is flicking the pencil to get the rest of it. So this is just sketching. This isn't anything, you know, too precise. So that's kind of the idea. Add in some of our foliage stuff. We'll add some field things, a couple little spots. And then we gotta add his shadow too at some point. So I'm gonna go with this. This isn't a shadow, this is just more of the foreground. But we need to do his shadow. So that's what we're going to do next. A couple little flower things on the ground. Those get to become white. You can get as crazy as you want with the detail on this. I mean, don't have to. Just whatever you feel like doing. We're just gonna be wild about it. Add a lot of kind of grass and everything that we like. Little details here and there. And let's add a couple little lavender things behind them. Why not? We'll have some leaves for that. And then we're going to do his shadow. So his shadow goes behind him. Oh, it just occurred to me. I know why it impartially looks funny. We didn't do his back leg here, which is just very subtle. There, back leg. Too easy. And then we're going to shade it in. So that's essentially how we can draw an Arcanine. I know it's not the most best, but I mean, I'll get there with it. So just keep adding in details and it all eventually kind of comes together. So for this section here, to give it a little bit more depth, we will kind of add in a little bit of squigglies. And you go from big to small, gives that a little bit more. We can give our tree line here a little bit more, our brush line a little bit more depth. A little bit. What else can we do? I like the mountains to be lighter because it is in the background. It's just my clouds are not where I want them to be. What could I do with that? I guess I could add almost cloud above it. Might make it look cool. Let's see. I mean, that might. I feel like I just need to erase little portions in here. Kind of lighten that right before the edge. Yeah, that'll do it. Let's do that. That looks way better. Okay. So if you ever do too much, just erase some. Easy peasy. Because the stuff that's in there deep is going to remain. I feel like. It hasn't gone anywhere. Just lighten that up with a little bit of erasing. And yeah, way cooler. Now I feel like my drawing is a little bit unbalanced. You notice it feels heavy on the left. So all we're going to do is add a little bit more detail. I probably just need a little bit more white over here to get it to feel a little bit more balanced. And all that. And then I'm going with just a tiny bit of black. Over here, add another lavender. Let's add 2. In the words of Bob Ross, it's your world, you create it. Happy mistakes. Essentially, right? So we'll do that. Kind of balances out the picture just a smidge. We still got a little bit of shading we can add over here just to light them out. A little amount. Just do it very subtle. And there you go. It comes together. So I know it looks weird right now. I'm gonna fix that contrast again because that's what's making it look kind of odd. So we'll increase that just a tiny bit. Maybe not. I think it's only doing contrast and color. It's not really working with me on. Hold on. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. But, I mean, I guess that kind of makes it work a little bit, so. You kind of see where it was going. In the future, I'll work on. Thanks, Ernesto. I appreciate that. In the future, I'll work on a slightly better composition. I'll show you the other methods I use. And I'll show you why it's not cheating. But sometimes having a good starting point or reference is kind of what you need. And if that's what you need, that's what you need. So a lot of times, you know, we can do things without it, but spending all that time trying to get everything absolutely perfect with human error can be frustrating. So now, when I look at this, I just go through and I just keep constantly checking my contrasts and how do things look. Does it look like I wanted it to look like, as intended? As a sketch. This might be something I revisit often and continuously attempt to touch up and add more to and stuff like that. So that's what's kind of great about sketchbooks and things and improving your art, is there's always something else you can do to improve. It's a valuable skill to learn. So let's see, on this one I can do something like this. But yeah, thanks guys for all the support on everything. Trying to think what I would do differently aside from composition. I think something I might do is maybe not go white at all until the very, very end. Or make sure I really leave the areas I want white away from graphite. So I might go in and do my outline in white first, then go in and outline it in black in graphite. I think that would help a ton with keeping it from looking muddy, keep it looking more vibrant. stuff like that. So. Guys, what do you think? Was that very helpful or what? I think I might go in and outline more of this, just for giggles. We'll make it look just a little bit more contrasty to the whole thing. I think would look really neat. I am pressing pretty decently here. And I still have eraser on the bottom. That's easy to get off, by the way. All you do is take more knead eraser, it'll pull it right up. Hey Kat, how are you? Thanks for saying hi. Hope you're having a wonderful day. So it does look a little bit more reflective the more graphite you press in, but I mean, I guess I could have went in with colored pencil and done that. I would give it just a little bit less of a sheen, but that's okay. Hey, thanks for the sub. Kat, thank you so much. Hope you're having a wonderful day again. Let's see. Doing amazing. Oh, thank you. Yeah, you know, so far I'm pretty much done. Any anything too spectacular at the moment. Did you happen to catch when I was showing some of the other stuff in my sketchbook? This is just like for fun today. This is one of my for fun ones. So, but if it were, okay, well, let me go through it here in a second. I'll show you, oh gosh. I will show you kind of the other ones I've worked on here. Testing out my video. I apologize because I got a notification saying something was up, but it looks fine. So I don't know what it's complaining about. Phones or technology, really. And we'll add just a little bit more contrast in here. Just constantly finding things that I want to improve on this, but it's kind of what's fun about sketching. Just sketching for fun, man. No real particular reason, just that I can. And we'll try to, I don't think I'll be able to add a white there like that. Let's see, do I have any of my gel pens handy? No, but I have it. Alright, let's see how this does. I'm probably going to ruin it in like 2 seconds. I don't have a test paper either. Use corner of the backside. Okay. So we're just going to add a dot and I can one more dot. You're working on very fine points with this stuff, you gotta be super careful. Because too much could come out very quickly. So, there we go. Got some eyes in there. It looks funny. It looks kind of funny. Yeah, see? Too much so quickly. But I don't even know if I could pull that up carefully enough. I got a Q-tip, let's try. Well, not to worry. When it's dry, you can in. So that works. Okay, so I know that looks a little goofy. Just timed it. Let's narrow this one out. Let's highlight. It's just supposed to be a moderate highlight. We can darken that. Might help too. So, anyways, that's that one. I'm gonna show you my other ones. Cat, you still there? Hopefully. Okay, so here's some of my other sketches. Starting towards the beginning, I did an Ahsoka. Not my best work. Did that a long, long time ago. Let's see. Got another random drawing. More random drawings. Random robot drawings. Which, I know this isn't the best way to see it all. These are from years ago, by the way. Like, I've had this same book for quite a while. But this is just so random. Like, random stuff that I did when I was bored. This one I worked on with a kid. And he just kind of prompted me to draw these things, and I just kept trying. So anyways, I got like a horse study. Some of these are better than others. That's like the truth about most people's sketchbooks. Not everything's going to be perfect. When you see artists put them on display and they're like absolutely perfect on every page, for the most part, you can kind of tell that they're trying to make every page. You know, if this was the one I put out and every page just looked like one particular item, obviously I spent a lot of time on one thing. And I have scratch papers with all the other stuff where it's more experimental. But sketchbooks, I usually work on one thing. I got Wicket, all in ballpoint pen. These look way cooler in person. Got Vision. I have Wanda, but this one's kind of interesting. Do you notice what's wrong with this one? Why this one looks kind of goofy on the face, like doesn't look quite right. I drew it at a bit of an angle. So if I angle it, you can see it starts to look more right. So, oops. Got Snorlax that I haven't finished. I work on these while I'm in meetings, so I mean, maybe I'll do that again. You know, usually it's a meeting I don't have much involvement in, but I have to be there, so. And we got Mando with a Grogu. This is based on another artist's mashup, and it looked way cooler, I think, graphically, but I, did my own spin on colors and everything like that, so a lot of fun. Got a Ghostbusters poster that I kind of made. It's a mashup of a couple things. Yeah, it's definitely the mouth, because I didn't realize I was filling that in at an angle. Wasn't paying attention. And then we got Kong. And you really need to have things sort of square with your face so that things come out, pretty accurate. Coloring, you don't need to as much. But if you're still doing any kind of outline work, you need to always look at it. Or things can really come out distorted. Got the fire blazing Bulbasaur, which I gotta do the ground yet. This is all charcoal. Lava coal or something. Got Raichu. I sketched this up one day. Not my best work for a quick sketch, but not the worst. So this is one I've been working on a while. It's a Ditto. And you can see I still gotta do the upper half here It's going to blend it all in so it looks reflective, like an actual object. Just experimenting with reflections and shadows at this point. Kind of fun. This was a Dogman sketch that someone wanted me to draw. So I was like, okay, let's do it. Just realized I got some of my reference lines still in there. And let's see. And we got Gengar I started, which I'm not too heavily impressed with. He's a little too round. But maybe I'll figure out something in the shading and kind of fix that. But it's got some pretty cool fire. And then we got Dedenne Evolved. This is Dedenne 2.0. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I'd like to think I have some talent. I'm nowhere near half some of the artists out there, but if I get to do this more full time, like I'm doing, you know, it might come to fruition. It might get me somewhere. We'll see. But yeah, this is I did this the other day. I got a little spot there I should probably touch up. It's not much. But I'll just make it look a little more fluid. So just like that. Let's see. And then I feel like there's a spot here, but there really isn't. Which is weird. Anyways. Did I show you Bulbasaur? Did we get to Bulbasaur? Did I miss Bulbasaur? I feel like I missed it. And then there's Bulbasaur. So this is one I did a long time ago. 3-4 years ago. And then, like, this is where I'm at now, if that is any comparison. So, before, after, trying to work on some things that, you know, make it pop a little more, and then we did this one today. So, just kind of experimenting with some different concepts and all that. Oh, I'm not like comparing myself negatively, but I am trying to get to that point where I can make money off this, you know, or with it, not off it, with it, using my talents and skills for that. So right now I'm just sharing it, having a lot of fun doing random sketches and drawings, but yeah, thank you. Yeah, so I was let go back in September, and this had always been a hobby of mine. You know, just drawing and stuff was always for fun. I did have a tattoo shop back in 2014, so I did that. And now with, you know, since COVID and stuff, I just haven't had an eagerness to get back into it. Now I'm at a point where I want to keep doing something with my skills and with my skill set. And yeah, so I don't know, not comparing necessarily. I just want to get to that level. Yeah, I need to develop a little bit more of a portfolio, not so many sketches. I have some works I've done that are, you know, more like bigger. So I have this one here, which is the, let me see if I can zoom out here. And that one's the Dharmacue combo on that one. I was gonna get prints made for it. So we'll do that eventually. Oops. I hit function on my camera. There we go. But yeah, I'll do that eventually and get prints made and everything and put that out there for fans that like the Dharma Q. But yeah, I'm trying to get a portfolio built up so I can put it in front of, I don't know, somebody that will allow me to draw for, you know, royalties essentially. So I can make some money. That'd be really nice. It'd be nice to make this a living. Anyways, it's not the goal right now. Humbly, I'm just trying to get close to 1,000 followers so I can get some better features and services out. I'm working on making a tutorial video and, you know, just trying to put together some content and stuff. Gain some traction a little bit. But yeah, to do it independently would be a blast, or to get funded or produced would be a blast. But anyways, I know it's too much to talk about. It's kind of a weird topic too, I think. But what other kind of art do you like, and what do you like Pokemon specifically, or just the drawing of things? See, I think if I were to do this drawing again, and I were to do the, I don't think I'm going to get that to stick very well. If I were to do this drawing again, I think I would take out the lines here and just do white, hard white, maybe white pen, and then go from there. Lil Miss, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Pokemon's, it's crazy to think that we're this, you know, many years in the future and people still like Pokemon. I was there for the very first airing of it. I was like 7 or 8, I think. Might have been 9. Trying to think. I know the game came out when I was in 3rd or 4th grade. Somewhere in there. And it was about 5th or 6th grade that they started banning the cards. Well, at least the trading of the cards, but yeah, exactly. What's not to like? I mean, there's episodes I don't care for, but there's a lot that I do which are pretty amazing, so. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. But yeah, I think I definitely need to outline last with this particular style so that I can maintain some of the contrasts and stuff in this particular drawing. The more I'm looking at it, that's kind of what I feel like. But it's still kind of cool to flip through and you come across some different styles and things. I think it's always kind of neat. I don't know if I should have more clouds. I don't know if I should make... I feel like I made my Arcanine look pretty short in comparison to what he should look like, so he's a little bit stout. Yeah, I do the same too. I watch a little bit of everything. It's a blast. Yeah, Pokemon's mine too. Still part of my adulthood. I'm pushing 40 in the next few years. When I say few years, I actually mean a couple, but I think I'm 38 this year. I have to math that one out. You know, you get to a point you just stop counting, but yeah, exactly. That's the hard part for me is establishing a career, mainly because, you know, my last job I was working somewhere I was going to invest a lot of time into and get certified and everything. Um, it didn't pay as much, but it was a little bit flexible. The hard part was we got new owners. Our company had sold, and they sounded really excited about me and wanted to use my graphic design skills and things. Marin Fails, thank you. Thanks so much for the follow. I appreciate that. Um, you know, they seemed really excited about all my abilities. They had me start with some things, and then it sort of, I don't know what happened. But they came in one day, said, hey, we're letting you go. You know, it's a tough decision, but we had to let someone go. There's too many, apparently. And I'm like, well, then you shouldn't have hired the last guy. So, unfortunately, I just didn't have it in the cards, I guess. Even though I had slight seniority. I was one of the higher paid ones. So that's where that kind of sucks. But thank you, Marin Fails. I appreciate that. Yeah, housework. I gotta do some too. You should see my studio right now. It's okay, studio / office, whatever you want to call it. It's a bit cluttered, and I can't just do things. And I hate trying to move stuff around to just do something I want to do. I need to build some shelves. I build most of my own furniture. I have like a cart. I put everything on wheels. So I can move it around a little easier. But I need to add, I have a cart that I was going to add some storage to, and I haven't done it yet. And I need to do that, and then I need more shelves. I have a lot of wall space with nothing on it, so I'm trying to fill it up at some point here to some degree. But, yeah, my desk is not overly cluttered. I got a Pikachu doll, Mandalorian action figure that I'm starting to want to draw. Pokeball, other little Pokemon things. They're like little Lego Pokemon. Got a Mimikyu, Charmander, some Pokeballs. I have this. It's a Mandalorian inside a DeLorean. A little Lego Mandalorian inside a DeLorean. My coffee, coloring stuff. If you haven't seen it, this isn't an advertisement for TikTok or anything, but I got one of these, so this sits on my desk. And I used to sell antique vintage cameras. That used to be, I made a ton of money doing that. It's real hard to find them anymore, but that's what it became for a while. So I was attracted to that pretty hard. I wanted that bad. I like the original size ones and could never find them, so that's just fun for me to look at. I really enjoy those cameras. Yeah, Star Wars, big fan of Star Wars. I draw a lot of Grogu and Mandalorian. So if you happen to cross any of my pages, you can look me up, JokerFace49 or Adam Crotty. Basically, you'll see most of my work. I think it's all under JokerFace49. You should be able to find it. But I got Mando. I got like 4 or 5 Mando, Boba Fett, some Darth Maul. I did Star Wars Theory was one of them. So it's been a long sketching journey thing, but most of my sketches look like something somewhat completed. But my studies are done on just regular scratch paper for the most part. So you won't see a lot of my random doodles. But yeah, I will draw on request, have sketches. However you want to word that. So, what's your request? Oddish? Oddish is not that hard. I could do Oddish right now. Let's do an Oddish. I'm gonna do this one from memory. So make sure you like and share. We'll see how this goes. I have no idea how my paper layout's gonna be either on this, if it'll work well. But let's do it. Let's do an Oddish. Where's my... Oddish is the best Pokemon in the world? Why? Why is Oddish the best? You'll have to kind of update me on that. I never heard of anyone liking Oddish that much, so that's new for me. I like it though, because Oddish is pretty cool. Let's draw Oddish. Alright. So Oddish is a round ball, essentially. Again, I'm gonna need... Oh man, I'm trying to remember what its eyes and everything look like. And I don't recall quite what he looks like. What kind of eyes does he have? I think they're bigger eyes, like they look like olives almost, black olives. Right? Maybe they're red olives? I mean, would that make more sense? Well, yeah, no, I know I got that part right. Okay, so I'm gonna do a couple things here. I'm horizontal right now. I'm gonna establish a little bit of a horizon here. Let's give myself a base to work with, and then let's do like a walking. Maybe he's walking. Oddish. Let's see here. Let's see, what kind of... this is like hard, man. What does Oddish look like? Because I'm trying to go on memory here. Do a couple eyeballs. My right eye looks like crap. Okay, we'll try again. There we go. I like it a little better like that. And then he's got leaves, right? So let's see. Not sure which way I'm going with this here. I got so many ideas on my mind. Does Oddish have arms? Oh, nice. Garchomp? Oh, cool. Yeah, Garchomp's Garchomp's pretty neat. I was just at Comic-Con over the weekend, and I had seen a Pikachu dress in a Garchomp outfit. It was pretty cool. Yeah, see, I'm just not sure what the face looks like for an Oddish. I think my eyes will kind of work here. I'm gonna round them off just a tiny bit more because I think they're a little bit more rounder. Oh, come on, TikTok. Why are you so annoying? Okay. Let's see here. And then I think it's got a cute little mouth. Let's do something like this, and then add his like tongue in there. Something like that to start. We'll add his... I don't know, it looks funny. Okay. But we gotta do his leaves. I got it. I got an idea. Okay. So, we're gonna do something. Kind of like this. I'm gonna throw another one out. There. Okay, we're gonna mess with this. We gotta keep his kind of roundness, right? So it won't be 100% accurate, I think. I think I can make it that, though. One bigger is always a little bit easier. And we'll add his... Oddish's mouth. I'm not sure how I feel about my leaves, but I think I'll mess with it a little bit. Let's get this rounded off. Okay, so that's a start. Let's add his tongue. He's a really happy one. I'm not too impressed with this here, so let's make this a little bit more I guess realistic to what he might kind of look like. Now again, I'm doing this from memory, okay? I'm not looking at anything. I don't recall 100% what Oddish looks like. I did just draw an Oddish though, so I have a little bit of an idea. You know, I drew an Oddish just out of fun, getting the shapes down, all that stuff, so slight idea what an Oddish looks like. Too much. Just trying to add a little bit to that. Love erasers for that reason. So. And then we could give it the anime shiny eyes. I feel like. Kind of like Jigglypuff and Kirby and, you know, two reflections essentially. Don't rate me on my anime eyes here. I'm not sure how well I'm doing. I'm just kind of going for it. Makes it look like something anyways. But I apologize. I have my chat window covered up. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And I still have no idea if he has arms, but I can add arms. I'm gonna say he doesn't. I don't feel like Oddish did. I think that was a difference I kind of recall. So, yeah, I don't think he did. It's weird when you try to, if you don't draw something all the time and really study all its features, how hard it is to kind of go back and try to do that later. The little details you forget, you know. Spaghetti noodle arms? Yeah. Alright, let's add some shading to this sketch. I'll just do some fundamental shading here as best I can. What would his other foot look like? I think it would be the lights coming from the top left. Looks something like that. And then his bottom half is going to be sort of roughed in here. Lighter in the middle. And we'll add just a tiny bit. Smearing some graphite around. Like so. We just go in with our eraser and add our kind of highlighted lighter sections. I know it seems like I'm erasing my line work a little too much, but just wait. You'll see. Maybe my Oddish has a little bit more of a lighter eyes look. This one's a much softer lead. I'm not sure what I have in this one, but certainly very soft in comparison. I'll make this a little darker. Darker. It's a very happy oddish. Very round one too. I think he's a little bit less round, but that's okay. Then we'll lighten up this so it looks a little bit more connected. Okay, so hold on. Don't worry. It's gonna look really neat. Okay, so got that. We'll try this and see how it does. I'm not liking that. I wanted this to look a lot cooler than it is doing for me, but it's not quite doing what I want to. This particular stuff. I don't know, maybe it's old, but add a little flair to it as best I can. So maybe that doesn't, I don't know. Maybe I should add color. But yeah, it looks like oddish. Tis a sketch. Yeah, I made the roundest freaking oddish, man. I don't know how I did that, pulled that off. But he is round. Kind of just make a little walking road for him. It's a bit much, but add a little shadow beneath them. Simple sketch. But there we go. Got an oddish. But yeah, I gotta figure out that whiteout a little better than I've been doing. Some leaves should overlap. Well, they're kind of overlapped. I'm with you. So this one should be here. And this one's over the top. That one goes this way. So there's a bit of overlap there. But yeah, it's probably not quite as apparent as it could be. Make it a little bit darker. Blend that out just a little bit. Blend that one out. Let's see, keep forgetting I got two here that would be way darker. So, kind of something like that. I'm not sure if that looks better though. It kind of looks funny here. Let's just finish that one off a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. This one looks funny to me. I can't figure out what I did here that I was thinking. I was thinking about something, I'm sure. But there you have it. Oddish. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure what I was thinking over here, to be honest. That side's throwing me off tremendously. So I don't know, it's not my best oddish. Let's see what one looks like in comparison. Because I bet you I'm way off on this, and there's probably so much more I could have added. Okay, so I got some things kind of in the idea of it relative, but yeah, I did a really round oddish there. So I will have to draw that one some more. Thank you, Lil Miss. Appreciate that. And Chunky. Yeah. Imagine one with art. It'd be kind of like Kirby, I think. But yeah, I think I could have done the tongue a little differently with the highlight. That would have made it a tiny bit more appealing. But came out. It looks alright. I need to find one of my gel pens though, because trying to use the Presto on a smaller drawing is difficult, because a lot of lot wants to come out at once. A lot of that whiteout ink or whatever it uses. So. But yeah, it can be frustrating. So guys, thanks so much for watching and checking out my work today and hanging out. Love to hang out. So I need to go eat lunch and get ready for my other job, which I'm not really looking forward to. If you've ever worked on something that just drives you bonkers for so long, paperwork methods and stuff. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. I'd rather draw and work on stuff like this than do that. But yeah, I'm gonna work on some more things down the line. And this week we're doing nothing but sketches. I'm not working on any commissions right now. I do have one in line. It's a horse commission. I'm taking an old photo and trying to recreate a horse with one photo that isn't very good reference, but similar. And I'm supposed to do it in color, but we'll see. Maybe I'll do some sketches for another week, just to relax and get in the mode for it. And I personally enjoy really drawing other things, so it's all a ton of fun. But thank you. So I'll be on again. Trying to think what my schedule is tomorrow. Possibly tomorrow I'll be on and we'll sketch some more. And then I should be on again pretty much every day this week. So, and then next week, hopefully I'm back to a more normal schedule, because I've been the last 2 weeks called away so often that it's not normal necessarily. So, yeah, horses are awesome. A lot of people draw horses. But I have a client who really likes horses and used to do horse riding and stuff, so you know, it's kind of like in line with pets. I haven't really done a lot of cats and dog drawings. As you can see in my Arcanine photo drawing. Where is it at? What did I do? I don't draw canines very often, so I need to increase my abilities on that for sure. But my horses aren't that bad. I did do a study years ago on horses, so there's the horse one, which isn't terrible. It's not spectacularly realistic, but got a little practice in there, so we'll do more of that in the future. And yeah, and then I'll complete this ditto probably tomorrow is my goal. I want to complete that one. It's taken a lot longer than I've wanted to, and that's primarily because I have to very carefully blend my colors together, because it very quickly becomes oversaturated, as you can see down here. Just in that little spot became oversaturated. Up here in the corner became oversaturated, and it just doesn't look right. So I have to be careful with what I'm doing so that it looks like an object, essentially. Is kind of the idea. But anywho, guys, thank you so much. Thanks for all the support. Make sure you followed, set your notifications for when I pop on. Chris, it looks like garlic. Yeah, I agree. Thank you. That's an interesting take on that oddish. Looks like garlic. I gotta look at it again. It doesn't look odd. It looks a little too non-odd. Noddish. It looks like noddish. Curbish. Yeah, I have to work on a little bit more expression in some of my drawings and stuff. It's very kind of basic in some regards. I think I'll do some experimenting with that to kind of give things a little bit more character. But I appreciate that. That's hilarious. So, all right, guys. Little Miss, you got me hungry for spaghetti after saying that. Long spaghetti arms. What's up, butthead? How are you and Beavis doing today? You probably hear that one often. It's a terrible joke. Very dry. Very dry humor there. So. But I apologize. I'm just getting ready to head out for the day. Well, I got to transition to my other job. So let me show you what worked on today. Put that out. That's what I did today. Kind of experimenting a little bit with some tan tone concepts. So I need to work a little bit more on contrast, and I made my Arcanine very short, very stiff. He doesn't look like he looks like a pup. Not even like a Growlithe, just needs to be a little bit taller in the neck, and just a little bit more kind of emboldened a little bit, but we'll get there. So I'm doing good. Getting ready to work my other job, which I'm not really thrilled about. Paperwork is a B, and you know, I mean, it just is what it is. I wish I could just draw all day and work on commissions and things like that, but it doesn't pay the bills fast enough, so have to do some other things. But maybe one day. Guys, thank you so much for all the likes and the gifts and everything on TikTok. That is so appreciated. Can't tell you. I wish I could do this all day. Unfortunately, I got to get going to work and all that. But I hope you enjoy looking at some drawings. I'm going to be doing more sketch requests this week. My last one that I did, that was a sketch request the other day, was Evolved to Denny. Where's that one at? So that was a lot of fun. Yes, it looks a little bit like a Pikachu color because it is kind of based on that, but it's an evolved version of the Denny that doesn't evolve, so it's kind of fun. And so I'll be taking more requests later tomorrow and working on some old ones maybe in this particular sketchbook. I have like 30 other sketches in other books, but I'm trying to complete this one, I guess. So I might work on the Snorlax and Ballpoint. We'll see. I don't have the reference photo for this one anymore, so we'll see how I accomplish it. But and then we'll finish Ditto as well. Where did Ditto go? And we'll finish up Ditto. So yeah. Alright, Butthead, thank you so much for hanging out, man. If you haven't subscribed yet, I'm pretty sure you have. I feel like I've talked to you before. Make sure you do that, then you'll know when I'm on next. In the meantime, everybody have a great day, and you know, maybe we'll do a sketch session. Submit your sketches. We'll look at them, stuff like that. It'd be fun. Tons of ideas, but I think I might extend this one more week and do sketches before starting on another commission. So that I have on my list. So yeah. All right, guys.